DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Gaming is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now because we have you.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is out. Baseball is back. Jay Saw comedian. We got an action-packed show today, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on?
Good morning. Good morning, John. How are you today? How are you on this lovely Sunday? How are you doing?
I'm not going to lie to you. This weather is fucking me up. It was like 61 the other day. It's like 40-something now. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
It's been cold, windy, and at times kind of rainy and windy and cold like the last like 3 or 4 days here in Kansas City. And today it's going to get up to 78 fucking degrees. So it's going from like hardcore, like fuck my life cold to, like, oh, it's going to be humid as fuck today, by the way, and it's going to be almost 80. Hope you drank water last night because you're going to lose all of it 5 minutes after you step out of your house. You know what I mean?
Sweat out of your body, right? Like you're going to go from 80%. Like internal water to like 43, like bam.
in like 10 seconds. It happens fast out here. I mean, you'd be shocked in the middle of summer, dude. It's at times unbearable. It's comparable to like when it gets really bad out west. The difference being like the dryness and the atmospheric moisture and all that, right? But oh my God, does the fucking like humidity just like suck it out of you out here, dude? So yeah.
Oh, I could imagine. And I mean, right now. There's no other people right now that are taking more humidity than the baseball players right now because they're back, baby. They are back. How did Kansas City do this week?
Hey man, they're fucking 2-0, sitting on top of the American League Central right now, baby. We got this rookie Bobby Witt Jr. His old man was a pitcher for the Texas Rangers, and this kid's been coming up through our minor league system for a few years now, and this whole city is like hot for him right now. He had a game go ahead and game winning RBI in the first game there in the season opener, and he made a fabulous fucking defensive play yesterday in their game where they took another one from Cleveland. So far, fingers crossed, knock on all the wood. Kansas City Royals as usual are having a decent April at least so far. And
it's looking the same for the Yankees too. We took out the Boston Red Sox twice already this week. We're 2-0, baby. Let's go.
Right.
It's we got a couple new guys. A couple of the old guys are here. We're looking all right. I'm pretty happy with it. It's been getting kind of close though. It's getting kind of tight. And these tight when you started the season out tight. It kind of you could go really either way. But I'm excited. Our boy Shohei Ohtani in his first game struck out 9 batters.
Awesome. Good for him.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Shohei's killing it right now. A lot of people are talking about Tampa Ray, though. A lot of people think that Tampa Ray is going to be the team this year to go.
Tampa Bay or Tampa Ray?
Tampa Bay Ray, they're the same fucking shit.
I was gonna say Tampa Ray. Tampa Ray would be like a shitty '90s like cover band of Sugar Ray from Tampa. You know what I mean? It's like, we are Tampa Ray, and he fucking goes like right into like You know, what's that song? Every morning there's a halo. Yeah, whatever. Like all that, like frosted tips bullshit. All that frosted tips bullshit we were into fucking 30 years ago. I don't know what the fuck it was. I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, but hey, everyone's looking good. Right now, I mean, I'm looking at everything now. So overall, right now the best.
What happened?
The number one team is the fucking New York Mets. All right. Number two is Kansas City.
Oh yeah, after 2 games, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Go Royals.
I don't even know how the Mets are number one right now, but whatever, fuck it. But while we're talking about baseball, this week MLB came out. MLB The Show 22 has come out.
So you're basically, let me guess, you're just absolutely balls deep bottoming out on this game right now. Is that correct?
No,
you're not.
No.
You are not playing. You're not playing the absolute shit out of this. Are you fucking like just lying to my face right now?
I'm playing the shit out of it, but I wouldn't say that I'm like riding the wave on it or anything like that. It's a very, very flawed game, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one in this room who has played it either. And
I don't like hearing that, John. I don't like hearing that.
To start off, the game itself. When you're playing the Diamond Dynasty, the exhibitions, the home run derbies, it's great. Some mechanics look improved, graphics look pretty good. Just they look a pinch better. Same thing that we notice every year with a sports game. They reuse everything. It's okay, cool. They add in a couple new things. The new thing this year was co-op, and my fucking god, what a disaster it is. I don't even know where to fucking start, and that's the perfect sound for it. To start off, one, you can't keep a fucking person inside the lobby for the life of you. If you're going into the co-ops by yourself, your teammate or the team, they always leave. Even if you start a game halfway through, it just for some odd reason that's just what happens. When you try to get into a co-op game with your friends. Yeah, it works so long. I was even able to get a couple games in with a couple friends who I would never expect to play this game, and they loved it. Every person that's played this game this week that I've spoken to say they love it, but we all have the same issue. The co-op does not work.
Emotional damage.
So it basically defeats the purpose of playing with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, when it works, it does fantastic.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When it works, it works. The 3v3 does not fucking work. It just doesn't work. The 2v2 you could get to work if you try maybe 2 or 3 times. If you're lucky, you'll get it the first time. But it's not a bad game. But if they could fix the co-op in it, right now we're looking at a 5 out of 10. We're looking at a 5 out of 10 because the whole point of playing these sports games is to play with your friends, right? Either against them. Maybe together.
I always thought that was part of the deal, right? But,
yeah, and when it gets working, you have a good time. I mean, hey, you'll never believe. I mean, my Diamond Dynasty team, I'm hustling the shit out of it. I got Johnny Damon, I got George Brett, I got Ken Griffey Jr., I got Anthony Rizzo, I got Mariano Rivera. So my team's already looking good. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I did it. The New Jersey veterans are back.
That's what I'm talking about,
and
baby.
The uniforms are beautiful that I made too. It's a green and sand color.
Okay.
But we're gonna RP this for a little bit, and the New Jersey veterans are gonna be making an organizational location move to Washington State since the uniforms are really beautiful there. So we're gonna be the Washington State veterans soon. And I think the uniform works out really nice because it's the Washington Nationals Cherry Blossom City Connect uniforms, which they are in the game, and they look great. So, I mean, a couple of the things.
The Washington Nationals don't play in Washington State, right?
I know that. That's why I'm making a Washington State team.
Got you. My apologies. Got you.
So we'll have the Seattle Mariners, and then we'll have the Washington State veterans.
Okay.
From Fort Lewis. Lewis.
Now I'm picking up what you're putting down. Now I'm tracking like a heroin addict.
Yeah.
I got you, John.
I mean, the Diamond Dynasty and all that stuff, it works great. They added a whole bunch of new stuff to it that makes it really fun and more ways to enjoy the game. So I mean, I love it. I love the game, but they need to fix the co-op. I would.
Good song. Good song. I like that song.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you got two commercials there. That you just add them in, and that's such a good song, by the way.
Exactly what I was trying to do.
It's a great song. It still fucking kills me, dude. I'll be watching like some rando like YouTube stuff or a YouTuber or whatever, and like their intros blow dick, dude. And I'm like, man, like.
And you know what? Big
Our
shout
intro
out to the
kicks
Norse
ass,
Mandalorian, because the Norse Mandalorian has a very like vibey intro for his stream, and it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, I feel you. The next thing we have, I mean, we talked about MLB now. We have what do you want me to do? Sonic or Oculus?
Save Oculus for last, please, because
Okay,
I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a fucking treat.
Okay.
It is a family affair. It is the personalities in these characters. Jim, I mean, and you know, if you guys have been watching the news, Jim Carrey's been like, you know, talking a lot about retiring soon. And the way that this movie went, I mean, it could go either way. You have the introduction of Miles Tails Prowler, who is a fantastic character. Just as good as in the game, just as good in the movie as the character is in the games. It is, you know, different personalities. Knuckles was awesome, and Idris Elba was made for that role. And let me tell you, if you wanted to see what a fucking stupid grunt looks like in a animal form, it's Knuckles.
Oh
Because
my God.
that motherfucker has one way of thinking and one way, and that's it. And it plays so well with the personality of the character.
That's
Because
hilarious.
you know, and you have the hero Sonic, who's like a hero. You have Tails, who is like the partner, but the smart guy. Then you have Knuckles, who's this just like new dynamic. And boy, oh boy, you know what I liked about this is that there wasn't as much human interaction in this one as there was in the last one. Jim Carrey was fantastic, and it just amazes me how somehow an actor of that caliber could take a role like this so seriously.
Right.
And it works. He does such a good job. I mean, there's so many things. You see things from the games like the plane, Robotnik's machine body thing. This movie is a 10 out of 10. There we go.
I mean, you always entice me. I mean, let me put it this way. It can't possibly be any worse than the Batman, right? Right? Hello? Is this thing on? Nobody? Nobody? No? Just me?
I hate you. I hate you, okay? The Batman was amazing. But that was 6 episodes ago. But yeah, dude, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's fun. Bring the kids to it. It is so fun. Lots of backstory into it, and stay for the credits.
So tell me more about Knuckles, like grunt shit. Like, does he have like a necklace of like animal ears from like all the other Sonics that he's killed, or like
you know, I mean, they could have gone dark. They were touching some pretty like dark borders with the characters, and I think that they could have allowed it. You know, it could have worked. Yeah, you know, and it was just like his character alone was just like, you know, how you see any regular grunt in a movie or a TV show as a cartoon. You know, and they get manipulated easily. They you know, and they end up becoming the hero in the end always. And you know, that's not what I'm saying happened in this film. I'm just saying that's usually what happens.
It's kind of a foregone conclusion. That's a movie trope. That's exactly what you call a trope. That's a trope. But yes, like.
But it's fun, absolutely. Man. It was very fun. They did such a good job. The animations were were spot on, if not better, and surprises. And what you know. Probably one of the more magical things about doing this was like going, you know, this is a family movie. This is definitely a family movie. And just looking over at like the excitement of my kids, like, you know, they were just so like there was a specific moment in the movie that was never leaked, or like it was such a big surprise that when it happened, 2 of them actually, that when it happened, like their faces, like I thought my one son was gonna have lockjaw. Like that's how fucking
just
excited.
smiling,
Yeah,
just a big old Kool-Aid grin on his
yeah.
face and
He
shit.
was just like, oh, I couldn't help but be excited for him, and
That's
having
awesome.
same thing with my daughter. Like my daughter, she's sitting there like so focused. Like the kids love Sonic the Hedgehog. 30, 40 years after. So this was a big win. This was a big win. And
That's freaking
let
awesome,
me
man.
see. Did I have?
What else did you have?
Oh, so yeah, just the Oculus Quest 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh
I
yes,
did it. I did
you
it.
did.
So my wife came through with the early birthday gift.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the birthday's coming up soon, and yeah,
Good
we got
morning,
hooked
Jason Gasses. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you,
Morning,
buddy.
Jasus. I called him Jasus.
Yes, you
Jesus?
did.
I called him
Jesus? Is this
Jasus.
like? Is he gonna be? Is that like veteran Jesus? Jesus? He like
Jasus.
he like travels around the country spreading the gospel of fucking of like
The gospel of the DD214.
gospel of DD 214, spreading like love and hope to the veteran community through gaming and like.
All right, stop right there. We need to copyright this.
I was gonna say eventually he gets persecuted by a government who doesn't understand him, and has to go down for all of our combined sins as veterans, right? Like poor Jason Gasses, dude, just taking all of the fucking like sins of the veteran community on his back for us. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you.
What would
Jasus.
Jesus do?
Caffeine
What
and
would
whiskey?
Jesus do? Caffeine and whiskey? Jesus would definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Would Jesus do hate and discontent? He would absolutely do that.
I like this. This.
Our savior here at DD214 Gaming is very much not in line with the savior that you might be otherwise familiar with.
This is a new one. Okay, imagine putting that on your dog tags. So yeah, the Oculus.
It's all because of a Freudian slip too. All because of a Freudian slip, John.
There we go. And the Oculus Quest 2. Let me tell you, my first impression of this was all just a gaming platform. It is not. You could do so much in this thing. One of the coolest things. Well, first I'll get on with the games. One thing that I'm very open about that you guys know is the fact that I have super bad motion sickness. We've talked about it on this show before. If you go back on our Kansas City episode, we talked about how I puked.
That was going to be one of my first questions to you is how you reacted to being immersed, basically.
Yeah, so I'll get on with that. I'll start off with that first. I'll start off with the negatives, which there aren't many, to be honest with you. But to start off with that is the motion sickness. Depending on the game that you're playing, it could literally be hit or miss. I've become a huge fan of the poker games in this. They are it is hilarious. The moments that you have from them are just like off the wall. You're literally sitting there, you're grabbing the chips with your remote,
Yep.
You're grabbing the chips with your remote, you're pressing the buttons. You could throw chips at people. You could throw them at people. And maybe sometime this week I'll maybe now that I figured out how to stream a lot better now and it works, I could actually do a stream where you guys could watch that and I could show you how it works.
Are you able to interact? Is this like, are you able to interact with other people like online within like a digital universe?
Absolutely.
So please tell me about like that experience. Like I want to hear kind of like you were saying you can throw chips at them, but like what is the actual what's the overall experience like interacting with a digital version of everybody, I guess, if that makes sense.
So the first thing that you do, well, the first thing that I did was actually probably the same thing that everyone does. They start looking at their hands. You start looking at your hands and you see your hands in the Oculus. It's just like, oh shit, yeah, bruh is right. And the first thing you look around, and the first thing I saw was this dude, like maybe an inch from my face, and was just like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, "Whoa," whoa, wait a minute. Like it was like a matter of like 3 seconds. I turned over to my right. This guy was like in my face, and I'm just thinking like, "Oh shit!" Like this is real life. This is actually happening right now. Like I am in this virtual reality zone. I am in this virtual reality zone where I am talking to these people, cursing them out, and playing poker with them
at the same exact time.
One of my funnier experiences was this one guy was looking at me, and we were talking. He had a funny beard, and I was like, "Look at your beard," And yeah, we were just making fun of the guy. We were roasting each other. The experience is kind of funny depending on the games that you're playing. There are some assholes in there, as always.
What was that like?
Well, I didn't experience one guy. In fact, that was kind of like the asshole, because I ended up in the lobby with a bunch of kids playing poker, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
You can't, like, guys like you and me, dude, we can't help our mouths, dude. Like, it's like I wouldn't last in that lobby either, dude. Like, I wouldn't make it.
Yeah. So that's that didn't fuck me up with the motion sickness. The one thing that did fuck me up with the motion sickness is like first person shooter games. Now they're pretty good. They don't do too bad. The graphics are great. I requested a refund for the one game because it got me absolutely sick. The game that I played was Onward. Now the problem is not the motions. The problem is the problem is the fact that my legs aren't moving, but my character is. You know what I mean? So
what does that do? What does that do, like, to your head? Like, tell me about that. I'm curious to hear like that experience for you.
It's kind of a mind fuck. It's kind of a mind fuck.
What is it like?
Look at the chat.
What is it like? So, okay, I want to back this because I want to let you talk about this for a minute because you have an experience that I have literally like virtually no clue of. I've experienced a couple times, when you do a little dip in a car or whatever, and you get that little tingly feeling in your stomach or whatever, whatever. Like, I've never been on a ship, so I've never been like seasick, like motion sick like that. You know what I mean? Cars don't make me sick. Planes don't make me sick. Fucking helicopters and flying, fucking like mapping the earth like 30 feet off the deck, flying scary fast between, the Colorado mountain fucking hills, at the training range, south of Fort Carson doesn't make me motion sick. What the fuck is it like for somebody who gets motion sick? Like what happens when you're riding in a car? What happens like when you're playing a game? Like, what does your body tell you? What is your mind and your body telling you it's fucking you up? Like,
so this is the interesting thing. At the first moment, the first thing I'm thinking, I'm standing still and I have a gun in my hand. And when I have the gun in my hand, I'm looking at it. I'm just like, okay, this is cool. So I'm not moving around initially. So I'm just kind of just like shooting. I'm kind of just like ba 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 ba, and I'm not doing it. So my brain is like, okay, this is fine. We're doing all right. We're making this happen. Okay. But then when I start using the stick to start moving, that's when I want to move myself. I want to start walking, and I want to start touching things, and I want to start making the movement myself as if I'm there, because that's what my body is naturally telling me to do. And my body knows that my legs aren't moving, but my head is, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, okay, I look down and I see that my legs are moving now, and I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen. I'm kind of confused now, So in that moment, I got a little sick. I did get a little motion sickness from that, and it kind of messed me up for the rest of the day, to be honest with you. And I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, well, maybe these games are not the games that I should be playing, but and that's okay. But maybe because I know that there's some games where they, instead of moving the stick, you could press a button to automatically move you to a direction, like the one game Half-Life. It's like Half-Life Alyx. You press a button, and well, give me a second. Let me get the controls.
Oh my god. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna start hitting all the buttons because I feel like it. Just kidding. I know y'all can't see me. I'm in the background here, but let's see what John's got coming for us here.
Now we're both gone from the screen, right? Terrible. So these are the remotes right here, right?
Okay.
They're actually they look a lot smaller. They look a lot smaller in person than they do. They're pretty bulky. Oh,
dude.
I think Jay's back.
Yeah, goddamn dog barking at me.
There you go.
Yeah, so what I was saying before, Jay, is that the whole it just gets to me. It's a mind fuck. Your legs are moving in the game, but your body isn't, and your brain thinks it's moving, and then that's pretty much like, okay, well, what the fuck is going on now? So
and then your stomach starts doing freaking cartwheels and throwing curveballs at you and shit.
Yeah, but this fitness stuff, which I'm actually about to try today when we're done with the podcast today. After I'm done doing, going through the day, I'm gonna try out some of the sports stuff because there's a lot of like activities, like fitness activities. But here's the remote right here, and these rings are sensors that come up, and you got your buttons, your BA, your X, Y, and shit like that. You got your sticks. This is pretty cool because when you're playing poker, this button is like your palm, your grab button, and when you're in the thing, you can kind of see like all this cool stuff. But this is not just brought only for video games. You could watch Netflix in VR. You could watch Amazon in VR. YouTube videos are fucking great, and you can have a virtual.
Wait a minute, you can watch like stream shit in there?
Yeah.
Can you watch porn?
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure you can.
You haven't tried it, or you haven't tried it?
Haven't tried it.
I think you're lying.
What are you doing, step bro?
Yeah, John, you're wearing the lie face right now. Are you?
No.
Are you? Is it because you didn't want to tell Frenchie?
Let me smash.
No, I haven't put it on. There was more to do. There was more
to do. No, there's not.
Humanly
No,
shit
not.
to do. On see, I knew this shit was gonna happen. I knew this shit was coming.
Fuck your life. Bing bong.
I knew this shit was coming.
Am I that predictable as a grunt? Because that's like the first place I go to. I mean, is that kind of like what you expected? Like, I'm happy to live up to your stereotype, John.
Well, maybe you should try it and give your review.
Oh, I'd be happy to. I would love that.
But hey, the things that you could, now. Here is another thing that really upsets me. This is going to be the last thing that I have to say about it. In order for you to play, I hate that this fucking camera is constantly trying to focus. Stop focusing. Stop focusing. Is that if I want to play my Steam games, I need to pay an extra $20 for a virtual desktop in order to connect to my Steam games, which is okay because I'd rather pay the $20 for the virtual desktop than pay the $1,200 it is for the other VRs in order to play my Steam games.
Jesus.
So,
I'm not gonna. I got nothing for that. Yeah, I think
they got
that one, bro.
So if you ask me, is this a cool new gaming experience? Absolutely, especially like for watching movies. Especially they have live events too. You could go to concerts. You could.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they have a bunch of cool stuff that you can actually do.
That right there, that would be one of the areas I would love, like the fucking Tool concert that me and Nikki went to.
Yeah, well, they had Tool in there. They had Foo Fighters the other day.
Are you serious? You could go to.
And I think so. I think most of them are free. But one of the coolest things that I got to see, they're working on it for MLB, but the NBA has a front row camera app. That you could sit there watching the game in HD on your Oculus as if you're sitting in the front row.
Now that, my friend, that is some fucking innovative use of technology. I can absolutely get fucking behind.
It's
that sounds
pretty
like
fucking cool. Hey, I can't go to the game, so I'll pay whatever the subscription is to watch the games, and I'll just sit. I mean, it'd be
or maybe
cool.
You throw them like $10 and just watch it.
Just watch the game.
Right. Like for like one game or whatever. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And when I noticed that, I was like, oh wow, that's actually pretty cool that you can actually do that. They have an MLB VR app that you can watch the live games, but you're not watching the live games. You're watching more like a game cast. So my final verdict on the Oculus Quest, it is a 9 out of 10. It is the perfect birthday gift. It is a cool new way to kind of like, expand your gaming experiences and find new ones in gaming. So this is fun for people who have motion sickness like me. You'll get used to it. I'm getting used to it a little more and more. But I would not suggest a shooter. So
okay, I see. I don't know.
Board games. I would like board games on the Oculus Quest, and I'm in.
I liked you were talking about sitting there and like playing poker and shit. That sounded like that's another.
The poker games are fun. The poker, I wish they had more casino. I wish that they had like a casino game that I could kind of walk around the casino and like choose which game, which they do, but it doesn't fucking work.
Well, that's like one of the first things we did on GTA Online when you and me played together was we went straight to the casino and just fucking fucked around for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it was like one of the first things we did just to fuck off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so.
And now that I've taken the first 90 minutes of the show.
Oh, dude, you're fine, dude. Like, dude, I don't know about you guys, man. I'm really never in a rush on Sunday. Like, today is actually one of the only Sundays I've signed up to work yet, other than when I work the Chiefs game.
My man Bear, good morning.
And yeah, so like it was, I don't care how long we take, dude. This is like our weekly little, spiritual cleanse, and then we get it out, and then we freaking go do our thing. We make it another, 168 until next week, basically.
Yes,
so,
sir. Yes, sir. So what was your week like?
Overall, freaking, I really can't complain too much. So last weekend we were kind of on the topic. My oldest daughter broke her poor little wrist, dude.
That's right. Yeah. How's that going?
So so we spent like the first couple days like she was in a sling and just in a splint basically, and I'm sitting there like making appointments for this orthopedic specialist that the hospital had recommended to us. They didn't have a fucking appointment until like 10 days after the fucking bone got broke.
God damn.
And like I was like, fuck no, bro. Like if that thing needs surgery, if anything crazy needs to happen, if it needs to be reset, like sometimes bones have to be reset. I was like, that, especially in children, like that shit starts healing by then. You know what I mean? Like that's not a. So anyways, long story short, we ended up fucking Nikki, like my beautiful girlfriend, dude, as always, dude, like she tracked down a different place. I called them up and they were like, we can get you in on fucking Wednesday, like whatever, first thing in the morning. And I was like, fucking cha-ching, like let's do it. Cause we were already like encroaching on like 4 days after the event. You know what I mean? So I was not happy with that. It all ended up very positive though. We walked in, the doc came in, he'd already looked at the x-rays and he said the magic words. He's like, it's not going to require surgery, and I don't need to reset anything. So she literally just walked to this orthopedist and got casted basically, and we walked out. And let me tell you, we're freaking, very few things in this world will ever like bring me to my knees like immediately.
Yeah.
But when that doctor like said like there's not going to be a need for surgery and we don't have to reset anything, like I almost started fucking crying, dude, because it was like I was so worried those first 3 days because I didn't know. Like my daughter's like she's just real fucking tough, dude. She really doesn't say a lot unless she's fucking extremely like bothered. You know what I mean? And that's kind
Absolutely,
of like her. Yeah. My oldest is kind of very, she's slightly introverted, but also like she'll tell you exactly how she feels at the same time, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
tough as nails. Tough as they come. So she wasn't really complaining the first few days when she was still in the splint. So, but to me, that wasn't necessarily a sign that things were necessarily good either. You know what I mean? It's like she might just be keeping her arm, kind of stiff and motionless as it's supposed to be, and just being good about taking care of it, right?
Yeah.
So that was good. We talked last week about Wrestlemania, and I got because they kind of changed it a little bit this year. I got a wild hair up my ass to just sit down and kind of either watch or have on in the background WrestleMania. Holy shit, did I fucking like spend like about 8+ hours on this fucking shit this week. Yeah. Oh my God. It was a 2-night event. I'll give a couple of the highlights and then I'll give a couple of the lowlights, I guess if you want to call them. Yeah. Call it that. And I'll try to be kind of brief.
I can't wait.
It was 8 hours long, so there's a shitload of material.
Yeah, because I want to hear what you liked about it, because I cannot wait to hear the things that you liked about it, to kind of, because you haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it in a long time. I'm like 3 wrestling generations past where I left off.
Yeah, that's why this conversation will be very interesting. That's why I'm very like. It's very interesting to me that you took the time to watch WrestleMania, and like it's.
I was curious for myself, honestly. Like more than anything, I was curious for myself. I wanted to see what I really thought about it probably ballpark about 20 years after I ever watched with any kind of like regularity. You know what I mean? And I mean that like legitimately. It's been about 20 plus years. Like the last time I sat down and watched wrestling of my own free will more than once in a week. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Every once in a while I'll go back to it, or I'll watch a documentary that has something to do with it. But as far as like watching wrestling, keeping up with storylines, keeping up with the fucking wrestlers themselves, man, I'm way out of the fucking loop on that shit.
It moves way too fast.
Yeah, and these days, with the WWE universe, it is a revolving door of storylines, and if you miss it for freaking 6 months, you're effectively clueless until you catch yourself right back up. You know what I mean? So to start with some of the positives that I liked, the pageantry. They have made WrestleMania officially like an event, an experience. It's for the fans. It's got history. It's got all the fucking build up, blah, blah, blah. Every year you can count on it like clockwork. It is fucking WrestleMania. That part, they easily fucking nailed. They nailed, and they nailed it on both nights. They really did. Both nights they nailed it. Couple of the matches, really, really good fucking matches in there. I liked, believe it or not, I fucking was very, very impressed with fucking Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. They've been doing this build up between these two for like the last 4 years, and the timelines were just always missing to where they finally met in WrestleMania, right? Like they finally met in WrestleMania. They actually had a good match. I will give Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair fucking spot on, ladies. Spot fucking on, dude. Like that was a good match. They both performed well. It was believable, if you want to call it that, for professional wrestling. It was believable. They put on a very good performance. Very impressed with the ladies. Cody Rhodes. Holy shit. Like, how have I missed this fucking guy? Here, I thought fucking, for some reason, my wrestling knowledge eluded me. And I had knew that Dusty Rhodes had other children aside from Dustin, right? Goldust and all that. I knew this. For some reason, my mind just leaked out that Cody Rhodes was also Dusty Rhodes' kid. And he's still very much for wrestling, he's still very much kind of in his prime and in his youth, and he's still young.
Actually, when you're done, I actually have a story about Cody Rhodes.
I'd love to hear it. Very impressed with that young man. Very impressed with his character, with his abilities in the ring. Another good match. Fucking definitely going to give him props. Watching Stone Cold come back and just kind of put some whoop ass on WrestleMania, in a squared circle, drinking beer the whole goddamn time. That was a blast. That was a blast from the past. It was kind of cool to watch a wrestler who grew up watching and being a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin get to wrestle against and get his ass kicked by his hero, right? Like that part was kind of cool, right? That was kind of a fun thing for the main event, on the first night. And I'll end off with, on the positives, I'll probably end off with The Undertaker. So The Undertaker officially retired. This is probably one of the first WrestleManias since WrestleMania 7. I remember when The Undertaker debuted at the Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, yep.
As a mystery member of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase's team. Okay, I remember that all the way back then. I remember Undertaker's first WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania 7. He had a squash match against Jimmy the Superfly Snuka and beat the ever-loving shit out of him. It was a legit squash match. Snuka had no fucking offense in that match. And to see Mark Calloway, a.k.a. The Undertaker, kind of come out on both nights and just stand on the stage and just kind of take in the crowd, and hearing the crowd kind of, react to him thank you, Taker, and, whatever, it was something else. It was something else. I was fortunate to see The Undertaker wrestle live against the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid. My dad took us to a match. They had a body bag match or some shit back in the day in Tucson. So a lot of fond memories of the.
Did they do anything for Scott Hall?
I don't know if they did. Now that you're saying that, I don't know. It was. Here's the thing: when it was capturing my attention, I had it on the background. It was
of course,
4 hours.
Yeah.
So if they
Listen,
did,
you're not gonna sit there for 8 hours watching the whole thing, bro. That's not gonna happen.
It's
yeah.
impossible for me too, and I got other shit going on. So like sometimes it was on the background if I was like cleaning shit up down here in the basement, or if I was working out, or whatever. That's kind of like how I used it. Because also, since we're gonna kind of transition anyways, like so going over to some of the more negative stuff. Way too many fucking commercials. The build-ups to some of the matches that we're trying to catch people up on the match that's about to occur. Way too fucking long. Like neither night needed to be 4 fucking hours long. Neither night. They could have easily cut down both nights to maybe like 2.5, maybe 3 hours. I still would have given them both nights. But minimum probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half too long on both nights by far. There was way too many commercials, way too much fluff for the amount of matches that actually occurred. Downplay on the on some of the matches. There were not very many. Every WrestleMania has what they call squash matches. Like I just brought up with the Undertaker. This WrestleMania did not have squash matches. I would highly advise the WWE to introduce squash matches next year on both nights, because when every single match you watch is over 10 minutes long, it gets fucking boring. Really quick, dude. Yeah. Like if that there were a couple of good matches. So if the match is keeping your attention, good fucking match, right? But for the matches like on the lower portions of the card, some of the tag team matches, dude, it got old quick, and it was like, all right,
I'm not surprised.
Honestly, I wasn't either. There have been some really, really bad WrestleMania matchups that went on far too long, like that really should have probably just been squash matches themselves. You know what I mean? So, overall presentation was on point. Matches were about 50-50. Main events, I'm going to give a 1 out of 2. So they definitely scored with Stone Cold on the first night. The Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns main event was a little bit of a letdown for me. That was kind of a letdown. You can tell these guys have had matches before.
I can't wait to get into this.
You could tell they've had matches before. They wrestle very well together. Don't get me wrong, but this was not the best match they've ever had together, and I knew that watching it, even though I've never seen another match that they've wrestled together. Does that make sense? I can tell these two have had better matches just by watching it. So I'm gonna say the main event on night 2 was kind of a no-go for me. I kind of like lost it there. Like that was kind of, I was like, that was not what I was expecting from a night 2 WrestleMania. The first year that WrestleMania has 2 nights, that's not what I was expecting for like the final main event. You know what I mean? At all. So
okay, so let
go
me
ahead. I want to hear your take, please.
Okay, so WrestleMania has become nothing but a trash juice compactor of a company who keeps on depending on their old stars to bring back a new show. We have seen Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns suck each other's dick about 12 times within the last 15 years at WrestleMania, and we're sick of it, okay? It's always, F5, I am sick of it. I'm sick of it, okay? And that's out of WrestleMania. They fucking fought 100 fucking times. They have been fighting for years. I'm sick of it.
Right. That's
okay. Yeah.
That was the gist I got. That was the gist I got. They both look bored. They both look bored.
They've been doing this for a long time, and the fact that it took this long to unify the Universal title is fucking garbage. The Universal title was a trash fucking title. It meant nothing. They did nothing with it with the split brands. Blah 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 blah. Terrible. I don't know how many times we've seen Flair and Rousey. She's just another person living under the shadow of her father, and another MMA superstar trying their hardest to cross over to something that's already been done. It's being done right now with AEW, which Cody Rhodes found. Okay.
Right.
AEW's doing all this shit, and listen.
They made it kind of a point that it was kind of special that Cody Rhodes was there at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I'm getting to Cody Rhodes now, and it's actually very interesting because last night at UFC, the owner of AEW and Jim Ross were at the UFC event last night. So I think that's actually kind of funny. So Cody Rhodes, first off, after Cody Rhodes, he left the WWE because he was sick and tired of being Stardust. Now, if you guys also don't know, he's also the brother of Goldust.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the Rhodes family is a huge family. They are wrestling legends. Hard time, baby. Hard time.
Can I briefly segue off of this to where I might catch flack about this from the wrestling community, but back in the 90s, I was never a fan of the Goldust character. Not once, not ever. And I always thought Dustin was going to do something different after he was able to kind of get out from underneath the shadow of that character, and he was never able to make it happen. I don't blame Cody Rhodes for not wanting to be fucking Stardust. That was Vince McMahon basically taking Dustin Rhodes' career and saying you're Goldust like forever now, bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So when he left the WWE, he was wrestling in high school cafeterias, and
Right.
I was lucky enough to go to one of those shows
Awesome.
where I actually spoke to Cody Rhodes for about 15, 20 minutes. After his match was done, he was sitting at the ring just talking to us.
Awesome, dude.
Just talking to us. The guy is pure of heart. The guy knows what wrestling fans need. Now, I'm also going to sit here and tell you that I predicted that he was going to come back to WWE to do a big match, because there is obviously going to be some kind of AEW WWE crossover that no one is going to watch. And the reason no one is going to watch it is because toxic fans are wrestling fans are toxic. Okay? You motherfuckers are the reason why I stopped watching wrestling. Because you guys always want to bicker and batter when you guys don't even understand the fucking business or how the rank system works. Okay? WrestleMania has done its part to make it a family experience. But they've gotten lazy. Again, they're depending on their original characters to bring back a show to sell the $400 nosebleed tickets. So,
Right.
to me, listen, wrestling is great. Pro wrestling is great. Some of the greatest independent wrestling businesses are like out here in New York and New Jersey, and the whole industry as a whole. There's a lot of taint to it, but there's a lot of good people that try to make the best of it. You know, WWE is already is the orange that has been that the juice has been squeezed out of, you know. And then we have some of these new companies out here that are doing their best, and I mean, what can I say? They're doing their best. I like them, you know. I'm a fan of them, but it is just a shame to see what the WWE has become. And I get it, you know, everyone wants to go there, but there's politics to this shit. There's politics to it. And I love the fact that these independent companies during WrestleMania week buy out all. So what they'll do, let's say it's in like Orlando, all the independent wrestling companies will buy out all the clubs to do wrestling shows in Orlando for that week to do. It's like whatever city is hosting WrestleMania, it's Wrestling City for that week. Right. And it is a great experience, And
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing that I love about it. But you know, a couple months there was a whole pedophile outbreak that came out with the wrestlers and stuff like that, which now I think is being contained. But you know, this is, you know, it's about the safety of the kids,
sure,
the fun that the families could have, and the entertainment that these companies can provide. And that to me is what's important. I would rather pay $70 to an independent show than pay $10 at a WWE show, is what I'm trying to get at, you know?
I don't necessarily blame you for that. I mean, I've been to the last live event I went to was after my first deployment. I came home in 2012. I went back to Arizona, and me and my buddy Pablo, who's been on the show, we took his oldest to a WWE event in 2012 in Tucson, and it was just a house show. We had a good time. Me and Pablo were kind of laughing our asses off because, you know, we were adults, obviously, and we're like in our 30s and just kind of reminiscing on some of the shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, we had a good time. But I understand exactly what you're saying, and I don't necessarily think you're wrong either, because there is something to be said for some of the parts that are lost when you just kind of get swallowed up by that corporate conglomerate, you know. And it's literally like you're either doing independent house shows for $20 or you work for the WWE.
Yeah.
And the only one that's really outside of that is AEW right now. You know what I mean? And they're about to get like crossover and probably swallowed by WWE too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's getting stale.
And last bit that I do have, the WWE does a lot of stuff for the military. Like, they do a lot of shit for the military. They do free shows for you guys. And even at one point, I was a cook, so I didn't have the opportunity to do this shit. But the wrestlers came to Fort Benning for a house show, and they did PT with all the Rangers and all the third ID units.
That's what's up.
During like a
How'd they
PT
do?
test and stuff. Yeah, they did pretty good actually, especially
Good.
Mark Henry, who was one of my favorites. But yeah,
Oh, I mean, Mark Henry is a freaking like gold medalist, dude. Like that dude is deceptively in shape, and he has been for a long time. You know?
yeah, and he is a fantastic radio announcer and Sirius XM right now too. One of my favorite radio hosts.
I will have to check that out.
Check
that out.
Five time Booker T. He's another great radio host now that's in the radio now, which is really fucking cool. But yeah, let's get into the UFC because we're having fun. We're having too much fun this episode.
Absolutely.
I was able to stay awake for one match.
Okay.
And that was a Chimaev match. And I didn't realize that Chimaev was coming back this time, that this was the fight.
Oh yeah. And then yeah, there was a lot of hype surrounding that fight.
I love Chimaev. He is so good.
Oh God. And Gilbert Burns is no fucking slouch. Like Gilbert Burns was goddamn number 2 contender, as of last night before the fight.
Yeah.
And I don't even know.
Chimaev's not rated. Chimaev's not rated.
He was he was ranked 11. You know what I mean? But obviously he's far enough down there. He's out of the top 10. So yeah, I mean, and that's like basically like I wouldn't even necessarily, based on this fight, I wouldn't even necessarily knock Gilbert Burns down.
No,
I really wouldn't. Like both fighters just kind of like brought it for 15 fucking minutes straight. Both of them like had their kind of back
each other.
Yeah, they were both fucking taking it to each other. Chimaev came out with the victory. I predicted victory for him. I was very, very like taken back by the amount of punishment he was able to absorb.
Oh my God.
I was almost hesitant to pick him because I knew Gilbert Burns was like no slouch, but I really felt like, I don't know why. I felt like Gilbert Burns was going to have a bad fight, and boy was I fucking wrong. Like dead ass 100% fucking wrong. He did not have a bad fight. He fucking took it to Khamzat, and freaking, oh my fucking God, was that a fight. That's probably my prediction for this fight, is probably going to be fight of the year. No shit. Like that is like my prediction. If it's not fight of the year, it's going to be in the running. Okay, it's easily in the running. That was 15 minutes of nonstop throwdown. Look at both of their faces at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like that was a goddamn good fight.
There must have been at least 3 or 4 times that the match could have ended right there too. On either end. Yep, on either end. They both were landing some fucking nasty shots on each other. It got scary. It got scary for me for a couple minutes. By the way, if you're keeping up with DD214 Gaming Podcast, every time there's like a big enough UFC and I can get kind of a feel for it, I attempt to try to do a trifecta without spending any money and just see if I can win a trifecta. I am 0 for everything every time I've tried a trifecta. Last night was no fucking exception. So Jay will not be gambling any real money anytime soon on MMA. So I had Chimaev winning, and in the second fight I had Piotr Jan winning, and in the main event I had Volkanovski winning. Yeah.
The second fight, this is where it gets real tough for me, because I've spent so long on this podcast advocating for 10-8 rounds, 10-7 rounds, whatever. Last night, the first round of the Sterling Jan fight, in my opinion, those first 5 minutes, if I was a judge, I would have given a 10-9 to Jan. I would be happy to hear other people's opinions on this. The fight that I watched, if I was a judge, I would have scored it 10-9 Jan, first round easily. Pretty much everything that happened after that, rounds 2 and 3, 100% went to fucking Sterling, 100% went to Sterling, and 4 and 5, 100% went to Jan. So it's really the only question is that first round. Apparently 2 of these motherfucking judges gave that first round to Sterling, and basically for a guy who like he had Jan's back pretty much the entire second and third round, but Jan was defending, and he defended so well that he didn't get choked out, right? So Sterling definitely gets those rounds, but those were not 10-8 and definitely not 10-7 rounds to me. That was like 10-9 rounds. There was defense. Everybody was active, whatever. Same with 4 and 5. It was like all fucking Jan just beating the dude's beating the brakes off of freaking Sterling, towards the end there. And for a guy who finished the fight down hard the last 2 rounds, the judges gave Sterling the fucking the match, and there went my fucking trifecta right there. Like my trifecta was blown in place right fucking there, and I was just like, of course it would be on a fucking. By the way, there
it is.
I just want to add in, for those of you that aren't familiar with the history of these two, whether or not that judge's decision was good or not, and regardless of my opinion on it, the last fight ended with Peter Yan losing his belt to Sterling through a disqualification because he kneed him in the head on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sterling won the title in a very kind of like not cool way. No fault of his own. That was not Sterling's fault, by the way. I'm not going to blame him for getting kneed in the fucking face on the ground.
But he was acting like a total fucking asshole.
He was.
When he was fucking walking around with that fucking belt after he won.
And this guy last night during the press conference, the post-fight press conference, he's acting, well, I'm so humble, man. And I'm humble this and I'm humble that. And I really don't like talking myself up and blah. The whole time he's wearing this like pink fucking like, three-piece suit jacket and just like with all the fucking bling and talking about how humble he is. And I'm just like, oh, here we fucking go. Another one of these guys. You know what I mean? Just boring. Gay. Oh man. Like I'm going to get off of, so Sterling won the second fight. I don't really agree with the decision, but I will say this, Peter Yan definitely did not fight a good fight. And by Piotr, it's Piotr. By Piotr Yan allowing it to go to decision, I'm going to say it's 100% his fault he lost. He did not fight 5 rounds of good fight, and he put it in the judge's hands, and he fucking lost. So congratulations to Sterling.
When you put it in the judge's hands, that's your first mistake.
That's really what it is. I mean, I can sit here and bitch all day and say Piotr Yan won 3 rounds easily, whatever, but 2 out of the 3 judges fucking disagreed with me. So what the fuck does my opinion matter? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't fucking matter. Like, I wasn't the guy actually scoring the fight. So
Big Grizz Bear says T/Revive 4.
What does that mean?
So that is a term that's used in the RP servers to revive somebody if you're an EMS.
I don't get it. I'm way out of the loop on this.
So Diamond Rock says, did someone die? Yes, someone did die. Peter Yan had a heart attack for fucking being.
Yeah, Jay's trifecta died. So this is exactly why I don't bet on fucking MMA, because I will not spend a dime of my money gambling if I am not like almost. This was one of those cards. I was about as close to sure on these 3 fights as I possibly could be, because Jan beat the dog shit out of Sterling in their last fight. I mean, it wasn't even close. Like, if we're talking like if that fight had gone to decision, it would have been like 50 to fucking 45, and it would have been all Jan. Like, Sterling did not show up to that last fight at all, and the fact that he won it on a disqualification, the whole MMA community kind of erupted, But Jan also did not come into this fight really like in that manner this time, and he got 2 of those rounds. Sterling was very close several times to choking him the fuck out. So. Yada, yada. All right, moving on to the main event. Korean Zombie and Alexander Volkanovski. Not much really to say about this one. 2 powerhouses, but this one went pretty much exactly as you would expect it. Volkanovski, kind of easily handled the Korean Zombie. The Korean Zombie is unfortunately in the twilight of his career. I was really happy to see him get one last shot at the title, even if it didn't end in his favor. I was really happy to see him get one more shot. The aging fighter gets that one last, step up to the plate, on short notice, and he took it on short notice. And it was hard to see him kind of like get emotional after the fight, because I think he knows that his career is pretty much coming to an end. And Volkanovski took care of business. I got nothing bad to say about that guy. That guy's the fucking standard right now. So good luck, good luck to any fighters in that fucking division that want to beat him, because I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head that's gonna beat Volkanovski right now. So that's just me. That's just me.
Excuse me to interrupt you, but who the fuck is this asshole Cristiano Ronaldo putting spam in our chat?
I don't know.
He's putting a fucking link in for baseball that doesn't even work.
Fuck that. Take that shit out of there. What the fuck?
What the dog doing?
Delete.
Night night.
You are fake news.
The fuck was that about? Well, he said it. You are fake news. Well, while we're talking about it, Bear said the downfall of having two screens up. Oh, he was trying to type a command in game, and he typed it in the chat. Amazing. What's our first news story for today? I'll let you give it to us random. Just throw it at us. The XFL. There's actually two stories within this story.
Okay. So what do we got? What do we got for the first one?
The first one, The Rock has revealed the logo for the new XFL, the Extreme Football League, that's coming back. I remember as a kid, growing up, I watched the XFL because it was the only time that New Jersey had a football team, that New Jersey Hitmen. I don't think that's the case anymore. Anyways, nice new logo. It's pretty nice. But then the XFL's Dwayne The Rock Johnson is facing a cease and desist by 4 Olympians over a new logo that looks familiar to them.
That's hilarious.
And can you play that logo for a second? Because what's funny about this is that it's a very minimal, simple logo. Is it not?
That's the Olympic logo. That's the Olympians logo that Joe has up right now. I believe.
Shit, is it?
Yeah, that's the Olympians.
No, that's the XFL. That's the XFL.
I don't think so.
Well, this is the argument. That's what
this
is all about.
That's probably
that's coming from the XFL page. Yeah.
That's okay. So that one's the XFL one.
That, I guess those two.
What's the Olympic one look like?
That is a good question. I'm confused too.
Now.
Next story. Anyways, we know
that
The Rock is facing a cease and desist over it. Anyway, the XFL's coming back. We're pretty. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the Olympic logo is the 5 rings. I don't know. It's probably a team logo or something. Look, we're not the smartest journalists here, right, guys? We're just here to do our job. All right.
Right.
Whatever that job is. Oh, we're gonna do this one next. You want to do this one? No, let's mix it up a little bit. Military news. In this military news, Army vet pleads guilty in heist, stealing $2 million in combat gear from Fort Hood. I mean, Jessica Smith admitted. I could zoom into this actually. Hang on. An Army veteran, Jessica Smith, has admitted to her role in stealing more than $2 million worth of Army equipment, breaking into 17 storage containers with bolt cutters in June with another veteran who was a civilian employee at the base, Brandon Brown. His trial is set for later this spring. I mean, do we have like a wall of shame or a wall of stupidity to put these people on? Because it's like,
we should.
You got a sound for that? Oh,
I don't know if we got a sound for it.
He's got one. He's trying to find the right one.
What's it gonna be?
And his name is John C.
No one saw that one coming anyway. But yeah, I mean, these two fucking idiots have been caught. And wasn't there something too that they started like selling, that they tried to sell it like a week or two after?
2 weeks later. They tried to sell it on eBay. It's like, you dumb mother. Make us look even dumber, coming out of the Army and shit, right? These are the type of soldiers we fucking have these days. Jay, I could go on a rant just like you right now about this shit, but you take the reins.
I mean,
Jesus, take the fucking wheel.
I would love to
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Fucking soft-ass bitches these days, dude. How come these motherfuckers get to have their cell phones? I had to do, like, 9 weeks of basic training, which that wasn't a whole hell of a lot, right? Everybody bitch saying, oh, you guys got it easy nowadays. You only got 9 weeks. Fuck, bro, that shit sucked. But now these pussies get fucking cell phones every day? Nah, dude. Go hit up your boo, still slide in people's DMs and fucking jerk it in the bathroom stall to porn? Fuck you, man. I had to sit there and get that shit in my imagination, and that fucking sucked. Like,
God
God,
damn, Grandpa, you sound like you're fucking late for your nap right now, dude. Are you good?
bro, I've been eating these fucking Trader Joe's chocolate-covered espresso beans, and I'm all fucking like, woo, you know?
You're all like fucking hopped up on fucking espresso beans and fucking hate right now. Like,
Espresso beans and hate. But yeah, I mean that she is one fucking idiot, and so is this Brandon Brown guy. I mean,
oh yeah. I
what's
mean,
the next?
have we seen like this? Have you guys? I mean, you guys are both in the army. Like, you've seen the standards that it takes to get in the army, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that slide through the cracks. Like, let me just put it that way.
You could join the army through jail. So
I mean, dude, when I came in during the Afghanistan surge. I am not lying when I say I went to basic training with some straight criminals. There was a guy in my basic training platoon right now. He was a refugee from Cuba. He was a literal boat person from Cuba.
Oh
fucking
shit.
They got blown off course. They ended up like in Mexico. One of the people in their boat fucking died while he was in the boat. Do you know where he is right now? He's in jail for fucking murder, dude. Like,
God damn.
Fuck your life! Bing bong!
This was Afghanistan and fucking, or excuse me, this is the fucking army during the Afghanistan surge in 2009, 2010, dude. Like, they were bringing everybody in.
Oh,
I came in with fucking.
Minute. You've told me this story before.
I came into the army with a tattoo on my hand and one on the back of my neck, dude. Like, they were letting us in. They were letting all of us fucking bad people in the army, dude. Like,
all
I'm
the
telling
bad
you,
boys,
bro.
all the bad boys were all the bad boys were coming into the army during that time. Diamond Rock RP
Bad
says
boys for life, man. Outlaws
That
for
was a hell
life,
of a
bro.
ramp.
Outlaws for life.
What do we got next? Are we doing that one? The stunt pilot story?
Well, yeah, that's why it's up.
Okay. A stunt pilot has died filming Top Gun in the same flat spin that almost killed Maverick. We were just roasting the shit out of this fucking movie just, a week ago?
Last week.
168 hours ago? And, I mean, holy shit. So the question comes: were they actually doing plane stunts? Were they actually filming like plane stunts for this movie? Is that what the story is saying?
I mean, my understanding of flight, and aircraft and stuff like that is very rudimentary. But I do know that when you enter a flat spin, if you're not at a very high altitude for whatever plane you happen to be in, they can be extremely fucking deadly and very, very, very dangerous to try to, I guess, evacuate or come out of. So whether you're ejecting or whether you're trying to bring the plane out of that flat spin, but both of those options are equally fucking terrifying and dangerous. Like, and both of those options can end in your demise. And it's really sad to hear that somebody died filming a fucking movie. You know what I mean? That really sucks.
Yeah,
I feel really bad for the person's friends and family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and it
that
actually
sucks.
says here too that it almost happened like the same way that the one character Goose died in the movie when his head hit the canopy coming out of the plane.
Coming out of the plane. Yep.
You
and
know,
that's
so
these are. I don't know, man. I just feel bad about that.
It's terrible, and I mean we hear these action-packed movies. I mean there needs to be more safety. I mean in every single Batman movie that's been filmed, someone has died because of a stunt. We hear these
that sucks.
Yeah, this is a fucked up fact. In every single Batman movie, someone has died. I think someone died on the set of Men in Black too. These things unfortunately happen with these high-powered stunts, and that is no different.
That's right.
This is actually a story I've been actually very excited to talk about. Razer Headset saved gamer's life after stopping a bullet. You may have to click the link for the pictures on this, or is the picture there? Yeah. Click that Reddit link. So this young man was playing video games, minding his own business, and a bullet came through his window, and the Razer headset deflected it.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
like,
that's
basically would have gotten. He basically would have gotten shot in the head and become a statistic of being killed by random stray gunfire. Yep. And instead, his Razer headset saved his fucking life.
Yeah, yep. And Razer did reach out to him. They gave him a new headset to replace the defected one. I listen. You guys know more about ammunition more than I do. So with the picture that was shown in it, it shows that the bullet was angled down, looking like it came from a little bit higher. So is it possible that someone shot a bullet up and it curved
Yep.
down? Like
Yep.
what's your
almost,
consensus on this?
That is almost guaranteed. I almost guarantee you that's like anything that goes up must come down. If somebody fires in the air. A lot of times when you hear about people getting accidentally killed by stray gunfire on like nights like
Get that arrow, Joe. The right arrow.
Fourth of July, when your city's sporting team fucking wins the championship, whatever. People fire guns in the air, man. Bullets go up, they got to come down, right? They're not leaving fucking the earth, they're not going into space. And bullets on a flight path and a certain trajectory will eventually land somewhere, right? And depending on what angle you had your gun at, they can still be falling at very fast speeds and fast enough that they will fuck you up on the ground. That's why you don't ever fire a fucking weapon into the air unless you're goddamn in like a goddamn war. Okay, like that's like let's talk about weapon safety here, kids, for a minute. All right, like we don't fucking fire into the air. Okay, this isn't the fucking Wild West. You're not fucking Yosemite Sam.
This isn't Jarhead.
Fucking stop it, dude. Just fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Like stop giving gun owners a bad fucking name because you're ruining it for everybody else. Okay, you clearly ruined this fucking gamer's night, right? Like the dude almost fucking died. The dude's probably been like an existential fucking wreck the last week. You know what I mean? Because like I almost fucking died, man. Like that was almost the end. Like having his like first real fucking brush with death. You know what I mean? The poor fucking bastard, dude. He wasn't even expecting it. And this is shit that can happen fucking anytime, pretty much anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, let's talk about fucking weapon safety and not being fucking idiots firing guns in the air. Where a goddamn Razer headset is all that fucking saves some poor fucking schmo's life. You know what I mean?
That's a DMCA right there, and we don't care. And we just
shit. That's fair use. That's fair use.
That's fair use. Yes, that's fair use.
Seconds.
That was way less than 30
yeah,
seconds.
man. I mean, God bless that kid, who survived that. I mean, that is probably one of the scariest things to go through. I mean, you just had a bullet just deflect off your headset, and you're innocently playing fucking video games, and the bullet comes right through your wall and hits your head. That's some shit.
It is.
What we got next?
Really is.
Among Us has been featured on Jeopardy as one of the subjects here. On the recent episode, things got a little suspicious when the popular video game Among Us from the developer Innersloth showed up as a clue. It's certainly not the first time that Jeopardy has had video games included in the program, but it does appear to be a first for Among Us. Thanks to that, there is now video footage of Jeopardy host Mayim Bialik, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong, saying Among Us, as well as footage of three-time Jeopardy winner Mateo Roach uttering the unbelievably, fantastically wild phrase, "What is sus?" Is there a soundbite for that? Scroll down.
Probably not. If you have a hard time pronouncing the announcer's name, just call her fucking Blossom, dude. Like that's how I'm always gonna remember her. She's fucking Blossom, dude.
Obama hamburger. Obama hamburger, sussy balls. Lil Mosey is white, sussy balls.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
There you go. Don't be suspicious, folks. What's next?
What do we got? What's next?
Halo, the official cookbook, has been announced and released and will be released later this year in August. This isn't really anything major. It's kind of funny, to be honest with you.
What are we gonna cook? Like alien hindquarter legs?
We should have a DD214 gaming cookbook. That's it.
It's like
That's it.
How to bake edibles. Like how to make THC butter.
I was gonna do like pizzas, hot dogs, and then we'll have something with the Paleo Giant. Shout out Paleo Giant.
There you go.
So what's next? And by the way, guys, we're not talking about Halo because the show sucks. That's all we have to say about that.
Fuck that.
Wait, let me zoom out on this presentation. Okay, guys, so I know you guys are pretty excited about this. Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced with a new trailer. The official date has not been released yet. Kingdom Hearts,
What is this game about?
So the game, it's like a multiverse of of most of the Disney characters, and it's like it's like a linear storyline of it's just like just a practical Disney storyline of multiverse characters being heroes. That's the premise of it. Pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. It's a pretty exciting game. I remember the first ones when they came out. I was a big fan of them, and if I have the time to play some of the new ones, I'll get into it. You know, they're not bad games. The game itself, I mean, the graphics, the game has always been ahead of its time as far as graphics go. So I would not be surprised if this is any different. This is actually one of the most anticipated games like of all time too. So this is a big thing, and I'm actually kind of excited to talk more about this as more things get released. If you fast forward a little bit, Joe, you'll see some slight gameplay that they have. I think it's right here. Click that. Oh.
Now, who are these characters? Do you know? Are you familiar with these characters?
So the main character, he is from Final Fantasy X. No, is he from Final Fantasy? It's been a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say,
right? Even John got confused. I love it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I believe that's the character from Final Fantasy X, which was probably one of the best Final Fantasy games that ever came out of all time. But yeah, I believe that's the character, and then that character made a name for itself in the Kingdom Hearts games. You know, we've seen Buzz Lightyear, we've seen Mickey Mouse, Daffy Duck, Goofy, a bunch of great characters who have been a part of these games, and this is going to be fun. I'm super excited to see this come out soon. Next.
Okay. What do we got next?
Okay, well, this is actually kind of exciting to me. Grand Theft Auto leaker claims this is the first GTA 6 screenshot. We have there's kind of a lot to unpack in this one photo. Yeah, and click that bad boy. Yeah, look at it.
There we go.
So the translation there pretty much says that GTA 6 is looking at a Hollywood, Florida vibe. After a few months, I have been confirmed that this image is from the next title of the Grand Theft Auto series. The location in game possibly is inspired near the American suburb in the vicinity of Hollywood, Florida. Perfection. Now let's take a look at this one picture here, right? It looks like the house looks like somewhere early, maybe in the 70s, maybe the 80s, but it's got a nice Cuban look to it, you know? It's very cream, and if this is the direction that we're going to go with GTA, I'm kind of excited for it. I would like to see the older style of weapons, which would be cool. Maybe like an M16. We're going to see an M16 that's probably the high automatic in this game,
or like a fucking Tech 9 or a fucking Uzi.
Yeah, you know, so I think if this is the vibe that they're going for, I like it. It's a nice screenshot. The house looks nice, and granted, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing, but at the same time, it's everything if this image is real.
I'm a little torn on this. You know, the youth in me is excited about GTA finally coming back, and the jaded ass cynical fuck that I've become really doesn't even want to give GTA or specifically Rockstar any fucking press at all right now. But
yeah,
I understand that it is exciting for the gaming community to finally at least see something, maybe ish. I mean, this is one of those things where, like, I remember GTA 5 came out way too fucking long ago. So it's just like I'm dead in the water. I'm in the middle of like Lake Superior right now with no land in sight with Rockstar, and it's just like, okay,
yeah.
You know
what's going to be funny about it is when right before GTA 6 is coming out, and we know this could take a couple years. We're going to notice this massive price increase for GTA 5 again and be like, why are they starting to sell us for $60 all of a sudden? Cash in when they can.
How are they?
And then, boom.
How are they still selling it for $60 now? I mean, that's like
it just came back. It just came on next gen, so that's one thing. Like, and even though it doesn't mean shit to us because we're not going to pay for it again, You know,
you should. That's one of those things where I'm like, if you've already bought a singular one version of this game, I don't care how many console generations previous it was. If you've already spent your money on this game, you should be able to like show a fucking receipt and do like a fucking upgrade for like $10 or $15 for the next whatever.
Well, look at what Call of Duty did. Look at what Call of Duty did when we were getting next gen. If you bought, you could buy the game for $60 and you could have it on either Series X or Xbox One, or you could pay $70, an extra $10, and you could have it on both, so you don't have to. You know, I'm okay with the $10 difference, just to have it. You know,
if I was in the middle of a console switch or about to make a console switch, I would probably be happy to do that too. What I'm not happy with is getting fucking milked. You know what I mean? Because like, and
that's what GTA did, because I remember it came out for the regular Xbox 360, right?
Right.
I had to buy it again for the Xbox One.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
Same here.
And what do we have next? That's Call of Duty, right? That short little tidbit. Call of Duty 2022, which, guys, has been confirmed to be Modern Warfare 2. Guys, I'm gonna have to say it. I think I'm gonna end up playing it. If it's Modern Warfare 2, I will play this.
I might have to dip my toes in these waters, and I just hope they don't fuck it up. They're gonna have I'm gonna give them about 30 fucking seconds in this game.
Yeah, so the only thing we have about this is that they're saying April 30th is going to be a reveal. That's in 20 days from now. So let's and actually you guys know what's in 10 days, right?
420.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, first 420 I get to celebrate, like, since I joined the Army freaking almost 12 years ago. You know what I mean?
This guy is so excited. No one can see him, but this guy is like he's throwing his fist up in the air. He's like,
you both said, oh yeah, and I just had my mouse over the Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah!
It was so perfect. I cannot help it.
Oh, that's funny. Now what we got next? Kirby? Is Kirby next? Kirby.
What happened with Kirby?
Kirby, the video game, where the composers and the soundtrack have won a Grammy Award.
Interesting.
And no, ladies and gentlemen, no one got slapped during the presentation of this award show.
Does Kirby slap people, or are you making a subtle Will Smith reference?
Yeah. Well, Kirby eats people. That's what Kirby does.
That's right.
He eats and absorbs their power, and yeah. But yeah, you know, I
play like a 2-second clip of it.
Yeah, play it real quick. This is the song that won.
Oh wow. Well, there you go.
Well, there you go. That was what won.
That won a Grammy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to go too far into it and have us get the DCM-8 or whatever it's called.
I hope it got. Well, I was just gonna say I hope it got fucking a lot better than that. Jesus, if that won a Grammy, dude, like, I'm just gonna get drunk one night and pound on some instruments.
I don't know what the musical category it was for, but if it's for video game music, yeah, whatever, yeah. Next, how many more do we have after this? We got
1,000.
We got story. Fortnite. This is our last one.
That's our last story.
Okay, well, this is actually
it's a positive.
This is actually very positive. Fortnite, Ukraine relief donation total is unlike anything the gaming industry has seen. Fortnite has raised $144 million for Ukraine efforts. It is so fucking unheard of, and so interesting to see that the video game company, who has been controversially in the news for the last like 2 years, to be able to make such a move on this. And this was proceeds made. So if you had bought like a battle pass, a couple skins, or whatever on Fortnite, like I did, those proceeds went straight to the Ukraine Relief Fund. So like, you know, for all of you guys who took the time to spend the money for your game, fantastic. You guys just helped the whole nation. $144 million is a lot of fucking money. yeah, us Americans could use it first, but that's none of my business.
Hey
That's none of
man,
my
hey
business.
man, whatever helps Ukrainians line the streets with sunflowers, man. Like I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it.
Yeah, there we go. And yeah, you better be Kobe and those sunflowers in the pockets of the Russian soldiers. But yeah,
Telling
this
you,
is
man.
this is a great. This is. I mean, I when you think of something like this, it's smart. So many people play Fortnite. So many people play fucking Fortnite. It is never ending, and they were
And
able.
so many people hate Russia. I mean, is that? I mean,
That
is this
too.
not what just brings the whole world together? It's just our extreme
Hate.
dislike of this country that has just caused so much fucking havoc since 1917.
Yeah,
You know?
Russia's the dramatic friend you don't want to bring to the party, but just somehow ends up at the party every
Yeah,
single
and they turn
fucking
into a
time.
fucking sloppy mess every fucking time.
I
It's
understand
fucking ruin it.
nothing.
There you go. That was Putin talking right there. Those are his words. But I mean, we're here. It's another day in America. Another day where we're watching the news and hearing about this shit. I mean, you sent me a crazy fucking video a couple days ago. You don't go into somebody's fucking country. And here we are. We're here at the end of the show. I got to. Do you want to plug anything before I get to my plugs and then the final thought? Because I think it's me today.
Yeah, you're the final thought today. As far as plugging stuff, just freaking cheering on my Kansas City Royals. I'll probably be working some of the ball games here pretty soon.
No
And,
shit.
I hope, yeah. And then I hope everybody has a good week ahead. Really, that's about it, man. So
Nice. And hey, we're gonna get just guys, always remember, check out the Paleo Giant. Check out his IG, the Paleo Giant on Instagram. Check out thepaleogiant.com. Check out 80s Babies Gaming on Facebook. Check out Blaze 8 Online. Blaze 8 Online New Jersey.com. We also what else we got? Oh my god, there's Rogue Energy. Remember, guys, Rogue Energy, DD214 Gaming is the code for 10% off your order today. And yeah, make sure you guys check out www.dd214gaming.live for everything DD214 Gaming. Everything. You leave a voicemail and all that stuff. Actually, we keep on forgetting to do that too, because we could get the calls and we keep forgetting to bring that up. Yeah, it keeps on slipping my mind. But yeah, guys, we're here. It is, what is it? It's April 10th now. We're getting into the spring season time. And it's no different than any other day. You're going to, the cloud comes, and it's more than just the rain. It's the storm. And it's only up to you to have the proper umbrella to withstand it. Every single day is a new day. One day you may be extremely happy, and the next day you probably fucking miserable, and that's okay. That's okay. It's up to you to make to find a better way to help yourself and those around you. Because if for example, if you're down or something like that, like myself, I'm guilty of it. I'm down, and my emotions and my attitude sometimes, sometimes I am that elephant in the room, and it doesn't feel good sometimes. And then, you start pestering and poking at yourself sometimes because you feel like you're that guy, and you don't have to be that guy. Self-awareness is a fantastic thing, and to be self-aware of your emotions and to, not just talk to yourself, but to let yourself know that, hey, you're going to be okay today. I have friends around me, and if you don't want to talk to those friends, that's okay. You can call this number, 1-800-273-TALK. Yep, 1-800. Oh my fucking god, yo! Did I fuck this up again?
What happened?
1-800. Oh no, I got it right. 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-TALK, guys. There is always, you literally, guys, you can call. You can text. I don't know if you could do video call. I don't know if that's a thing or not. But you could go right on Google, and you could do Google Text, Google Call, There's a hotline for this stuff. You could talk, if you're having a hard time with your doctor, speak to your clinics. Maybe if you're part of the VA, speak to your VA. Be comfortable with your doctors. Be comfortable with yourself. The only way to drive through this road is to get in the car and hit the gas. We love you guys. Thank you for coming. We'll see you in 168 fucking hours for another wild episode. Hey, this week there was just a lot of news. So hopefully next week there's a lot of news. Maybe we will actually do something, and we will get a guest next week. Maybe we will. Hey, listen, it's been fucking busy, y'all.
Yeah,
it's been fucking busy.
It's spring, man. Everybody's doing spring cleaning. Freaking shit's fucking coming alive again.
Now, when you say spring cleaning, now you mean like blocking friends and stuff like that, or?
I don't know. I don't really block people. I've never really had a need for that. Like if they become friends of mine on social media for whatever reason, I think I've blocked maybe like 3 people ever on Facebook ever.
And you know what? We're going to talk about that next week. So,
yeah. Although I will say this on Reddit, if anybody fucking follows me on Reddit, I immediately like block them.
Nope.
Like immediate block. If you follow me on Reddit, because you won't know who I am. Obviously, you might think you know, but if I get followed on Reddit, I fucking block that user immediately.
And that's your mission for next week, guys. Go find Jay's Reddit. See you next week. See you in 168 hours, motherfuckers.